Right, hi guys. So one of the things that I really miss about cubing in like the old days, I guess you could call it, which is to say mainly like pre-pandemic, is the prevalence of stickered cubes. I think stickered cubes are just better. I prefer them in every way to stickerless cubes, and I really not like super don't like, but I don't really like the fact that basically every cube these days is just stickerless by default and there isn't a stickered option because and like I get the fact that most people are just buying stickerless cubes these days, so that's fair enough, but I feel like they could at least make a stickered version and just not make as many like units of it, because I'm sure there aren't as many people that would buy stickered cubes these days, but I'm sure there still are some people, and I'm definitely one of those people. I still use stickered cubes technically for at least three events, 2x2, four blind, which I have my four blind cube here, my old GTS 2M, because the GTS 2M is still the best four blind cube by a mile. And then for multi as well, I have my stickered RS3M 2020s. I don't have my 2x2 on me at the minute. Also, like, technically FMC, I can use stickered cubes, it's whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, the point is, I would still use stickered cubes if they were available in pretty much every puzzle because I just think they look better. And generally speaking, I'm talking like black plastic puzzles. I do have a handful of white plastic puzzles that I think look better than they would if they were, in black plastic. My original Moyu Pyraminx, I got in white plastic because I think that looks really cool. Same with my Shengshao Pearl Megaminx. I also have a white Volk 5 that I used to main for 5 blind. I used it for 5x5 briefly at one point as well. And I also bought an X-Man Spark 7x7 in white that I never actually mained, but it's still like quite a cool cube to have. And yeah, those look quite cool. But I do think the classic like black plastic is like just overall the best looking in terms of like how a cube can be. Like if you think of a Rubik's cube, you think of this, right? You think of a classic black puzzle with different colored stickers on. And even like when I'm teaching, especially blind stuff, I still, even if I'm on like a stickered cube, I'll still like point to this and say this sticker or whatever. But I think they just look better. The one exception I would say is maybe like cubes bigger than a 6x6, especially when they're scrambled. They look nicer if they're stickerless, I think. But everything else, including 5x5, and I've got here my my old Alshrang Worm 5x5, which I deliberately got in stickered because I still think this just looks really cool. And part of it is as well, if you see it from a distance, you can immediately see, maybe not that it's a 5x5, but you can see that it's a decently sized cube. Whereas if you compare it to this, like my GAN or whatever, if you hold them up, if you saw this from a distance, it just looks like a cube. There's a block of like solid color. You can't see too clearly kind of what it's meant to be, I guess. But this, like when you compare them side on, is like this is a much more classic example of a Rubik's cube, right? And I think that's really cool. And also, it means you can very easily change your sticker shades. Like for example, on my four blind cube, this is what I used for a while. These shades, these are Fulbrights and Sky Blue. I think it's Sky Blue anyway. Yeah, the one thing I didn't like about most stickered cubes back in the day was they would come with like factory half brights, and I don't really like the half brights. I think they're too dark. Like the fluoro red and the fluoro orange are much nicer, and the Sky Blue, was decent. But what I started doing a while ago was using Aqua. I think that's what it's called on my multi cubes, and I've got it on my 2x2 as well. Yeah, I don't think you can't really see in this light if I compare them. Oh, I guess you kind of can, yeah. This Aqua is more sort of greeny blue, whereas this is just blue. And I say greeny blue, but like the contrast is still definitely there. That's like, I mean, certainly for me, it's really easy to tell. Like especially for these, because I use them for multi, I never have to like look at the colors while they're moving, which is obviously a very situational thing. Again, especially for multi, I think being able to see a load of scrambled stickered cubes and then like a pile of mostly solved stickered cubes, I think that just looks really, really cool. I miss that manufacturers still offer that as an option. well, I have several custom like sticker cubes with like different color schemes. I have one that has black opposite gold, teal opposite orange, and purple opposite pink, and it's really really cool. And you just can't do that easily with stickerless cubes. You have to like dye the plastic and that, and it's just not that easy. But with stickers, you just like buy some, peel them off, stick them on, easy. I have another cube that has a pink side instead of a white side. I have a really cool white RS3M 2020 back from when I made force cubes. Oh, and that's another thing as well. Yeah, making force cubes is once you've made them out of like stickerless puzzles, you can put stickers on the top. Then you can like tailor the color scheme in that. So like my red, orange, yellow, green, and blue ones that I've made, I put like loads of different shades of each of those colors on. So like I put different shades of red or pink or whatever on the red cube, different shades of green on the green cube, and that, and they look really cool. And what I did with the white one is I actually got some darker shades, including like I changed out white for black stickers, and I stickered those on. And that is one of the coolest looking cubes I have. It's just a white plastic 3x3 with black instead of white, a bit like a V cube really. I think they actually have really similar color shades. And even like I know people will say, oh yeah, restickering cubes is like a pain and all of that. I don't think it is. I find it really therapeutic. Like the last few times I've ordered a few more multi cubes, like I've got them for Christmas or whatever, and ordered stickers along with them. I will genuinely just sit at the table for like 2 days, or not like 2 whole days, obviously, but like over a period of a couple of days. I'll just sit there with my headphones on and just re-sticker them, and it's just so fun. I really enjoy doing it. It's really satisfying, I think. And I don't have application tape or the removal blades or anything like that. I do it all by hand and with a pair of tweezers, and I just think it's satisfying and fun. And I do wish that a lot more modern cubes had that option. And even though stickers do chip after a while, like I don't know, you can kind of see on the white side here, they chip a little bit after a while. But like unless you're like attacking them, they don't chip that often. And even then, there's something slightly charming about having a cube that's slightly chipped stickers. You can tell it's been properly used. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool, and I know I'm definitely in the minority here. Big up stickered cubes. I will, take any opportunity to buy a stickered cube wherever possible because I just think they look nicer. Yeah, I probably repeated myself a little bit in this video, but that's fine. I'm not exactly planning any of these, just a bit of ramble. But yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow.